right, hello wine-drinking people. Time for more of what I've had to drink yesterday. And those of you that missed the cult tasting this year, well, I know you're going to say, we didn't get an email about it. Well, we haven't had a chance to send an email out on the cult dinner last couple of years because this is one we do every October. We've made it an annual event, and it sells out every year without even putting an email out on it. You know, people know now it's coming up, and a lot of people have never had Screaming Eagle before, and even though this tasting is expensive, $595 a person, well, the Screaming Eagle costs you $2,000. So to be able to try that and to be able to try 8-10 other wines of that same quality from Napa Valley, just an incredible opportunity, and it's a relative value. When you look at the price of these wines, several of them are in the $600 price range and up. And this year we featured two vintages, 2009 and 2001. To me, California Cabernets are at their best between 10 to 15 years of age. I know some people are going to say they will age longer than that, and they will, but to me, they start to drink at or near their peak at that time. So the Stony Hill Chardonnay, we had a little bit of one of the cult Chardonnays to start out the event. This winery's been around since the 60s or 50s for a long time, and Jed Steele was there in 1969, the year I was born, and they make definitely more Burgundian-style Chardonnay. This wine had a lot of lovely freshness to it, very similar to a white Burgundy, and the minerality of this wine also stands out. It's a mountain wine made up on Spring Mountain, but they don't have it on the label. It just says Napa because before there was an AVA, there was Stony Hill. All right, the 2012 Drinking Beautifully, but that wine will age 10 years easily. I've had a lot of older Stony Hills that were just fabulous. We always do this tasting blind just to see people like the Screaming Eagle the best because it's the best or because it's the most expensive. And, well, this year, the best wine was not among the first flight, the 2009s, but Screaming Eagle did come in third place. That's right. 3 votes for first, 3 votes for second. The second flight, I think this is the best the second flight has ever shown. I really liked it. It didn't get any votes, unfortunately, for first or second. And the Sloan, outstanding. The Philippe Togny was the ringer here. This is not a wine a lot of people would consider a cult wine, but a great producer and a mountain man and makes very distinctive wines. This is the one wine I picked out in this first flight without a question. The Sloan and the Screaming Eagle I kind of mixed up. The second flight to me was a little bit different than the other ones, and it does have a large amount of Merlot, 32%. The other wines predominantly Cabernet Sauvignon. 2009 Screaming Eagle had this lovely, gorgeous forward fruit, which it always does. This nose kind of rose petals coming out, a lovely spice, but just gorgeous fruit and a lovely plush texture on the tongue. Wines from Oakville, to me, this is kind of like the Pinot Noir appellation for Napa cabs. Definitely more forward than the other ones. The Sloan, a big wine, and you know, this wine was the most impressive I have ever had it at this tasting. Just layers of rich cassis and currant berry fruit and a lot of spice. And the Togny, a lot of earth in this wine. This guy's a mountain man. Like I said, he does not make sweet wines. He makes more wines that are more savory and earthy. And to me, that wine, very distinctive. And it did get a couple votes for first and a couple votes for second. So definitely stood up there with all these other cult wines. The 2001 flight, this was definitely the crowd favorite, starting with the Harlan Estate. It was the number one wine. 100-pointer. It got 5 votes for first and 3 votes for second. And Paloma Merlot, blind. A lot of people thought this wine was Harlan. Let me tell you, it got the exact opposite score. 5 votes for second, 3 votes for first. But an incredible wine and a lot of richness to the texture. That's the sign of Merlot. It doesn't have those harsh tans of Cabernet, but just an incredibly delicious wine. Still drinking beautifully. This was the wine of the year in the Wine Spectator that year. The number 1 in the top 100. And just a gorgeous, loaded with flavor. And maybe the disappointment to me was the Schrader. You know, that was the one wine that I've always loved. The RBS, and got 1 vote for second. To me, this wine had a little Brett in it, had a little funk, and I've never noticed that in Thomas Brown's wines before, and Schrader's wines did get a vote for second. The Schaefer Hillside Select, another blockbuster, the other 100-point wine, 3 votes for first. Only 1 vote for second. Putting it in 4th place, but a huge wine, and still, this wine's got a lot of life left, a lot of fruit, really lovely richness. The Sloan was the underachiever in this flight, although we liked the 2009 a whole lot. The 2001 got no votes for first or second. To me, the wine was just a little bit lighter than the other wines in this flight. Not quite as much fruit, not quite as much richness, but all these wines were outstanding. Not a bad wine on the table this evening. And then, of course, you know, you feel the love in the room at an event like this. People were opening up bottles of Darius 2, En Route Pinot Noir. So just an incredible party. You know, the cult tasting is one you do not want to miss. Not only are we serving great wines, but it is always a great time. That's what we had to drink at our California cult tasting this year. I'm your host, Andrew Lampasoni, signing off for the Wine Watch, saying, remember, always drink the good stuff first.